Hello, everyone, and welcome into Office Hours. Woohoo, ready to go live? Good girl, Dee. Got Delilah here today. Don't think you can see her. Say hello, Dee. Hello, sit down. She likes a carrot. You like the carrot? Good girl. Welcome in. We're going to get to work. And we're going to be answering any questions that you guys have that have been coming in as you've been getting stuff done, and I'll be able to either help by giving you some advice on business related things, or directing you to a part of the portal you might not be aware of, giving you some feedback, that kind of thing. So coming in, guys, I can see on the right hand chat box that people are already popping their questions in. Way it's going to work, I'm working from first question through to last question. It is private, so you don't have to worry about anyone else reading your question. And if you've sent a question in advance, like Sandy and Amanda and Tonya already have told me, and you've put it into the portal already, then let me know. Just put in the chat box there, hey Grace, I've sent it through the portal, and I'll be able to answer that as well. Don't wait till the end. Put it in as soon as you're ready to have your question answered. And I'm just going to put a bit of lipping on, and we're going to get to work. Cool. So, awesome. Good. I'm going to get to it. So we're going to start with Tonya. Tonya. She's actually put in how to pronounce her name. That's really helpful. Wow, that's really pink. It's not this pink in real life. That's really pink. Okay. Tonya. Here you go. Tonya, you're getting answered first. Going in order, guys. So I will get to yours as soon as I can, and if you want to have your question answered and then head off, that is fine. If you want to stay to the end, that is also fine. I'm not tracking you. I don't mind how you use these office hours, as long as you're a nice person and you're a doer. Okay. Tonya. Okay, so just quickly reading your questions. One moment. I normally say have normally had a person touch on my referral. Yeah. So Tonya, in your case, she's got a question around, she normally sells on the phone, sells her product or service. But in the past, she's usually dealt with referrals. When she's dealing with people that haven't been referred to her in her funnel, she's wondering if it's cold people, is it better to do something where I've got video, like a Skype, something similar? I'm pretty sure this is your question. Or is it better to do a phone call? I would personally be testing both. So I would give people the option to choose either Skype or phone, and just see, in your opinion, whether Skype or Zoom or whatever you want to use online, whether that does add to the environment without adding extra inconvenience. So there are some markets where it's just too hard to get them onto a Skype in front of a computer. Other markets where that really adds value. So because I'm working with business owners, they spend a lot of time in front of computers, and that makes sense to be able to utilize the video power of Skype or Zoom. If I was in I'd probably even do that still if I was in the mums market. If I was in the trades market, I would definitely go pure phone, like people who are just a little bit more out and about and not spending time in front of a computer. Even the mums, I would test that for sure. I'd give people both options and see which one they choose, or I'd do Skypes for a week, see how they went, and then do phone calls for a week and see how they went. The main thing I'm wanting to find out is how easy was it, like how does it impact on the no-show rate? So how easy is it for them to actually rock up and give me that opportunity to actually talk to them? And then secondly, which one converts best? So with those two together, you can normally make a pretty wise decision. So it is different for each industry. Usually video is best, but if your market isn't spending a lot of time in front of a computer, it's probably better to stick to the phone. So it's something I would definitely test. If you're in the business space, definitely computers is worth doing. But yeah, you're helping mums, right? In your space, it's borderline. I was working with a parenting coach recently, and I think she's having more success on phone, but I know Skype does tend to convert better because you got the face. That's a testing thing. And I would say it's okay to give them the options. Get the lead first, and then it can be on the next page, right? So get the first name, last name, email, phone, So that you've at least got the phone number so that you can call. And on the next page, would you like to schedule a Skype appointment or a phone appointment? And just watch that for a week. Did you get 3 people scheduling Skypes and 9 scheduling phones? Cool. Well, I'll probably just stick to the phone. Your other question there around, yes. Cool. I've fixed the video. Can you look at my attached script and the stats attached there? Yeah, cool. I remember yours. So let me have a quick look at this script. That's right. I remember yours. Yeah, so you've got a pretty good retention rate in the video. So she's gone into Vimeo, I'm pretty sure you're using from what I can see here. And she's got a pretty good retention rate across the video, which is nice because often I can tell if someone's video is too me focused in the first sort of 10 seconds because it just watch rate in Vimeo or Wistia or whatever it is, you can track that. And even YouTube, you can track that, I'm pretty sure. And watch rate is like, yep, everyone's watching, and then people are like, nah, can't be bothered. That doesn't help me at all. Everyone's inherently selfish. Time is precious. So it drops off quite quickly. Hers is like that. So your video is a good sign. We just don't have enough urgency for people to act, and it's good. The thing that I like about this script is that, and both of your scripts, is that you've got so many trial closes. So she's definitely not doing a video where she's talking at people. She's asking, all the time. So for confirmation. And I feel like with your new script, have you already recorded it? No. Just let me have a quick look.
I get it. The anxiety.
So hold on, I'm just going back to your downloadable. Your new script. I really do prefer your old personality. I like that you're using the card and stuff, but I don't think that's authentic enough in your case. I prefer the older script. Yes, I want to know how we could be doing better. Yeah, free chat. Click first and last name, email, phone number. Yes, I'm ready and through to that. I don't think the flip cards has just been kind of overdone. In my opinion, it doesn't, and it's moving too slowly. It took you've got 8 seconds to kind of get that first bit out and get that retention, whereas for the first sort of 6 seconds there wasn't much going on. And I do want a little bit of that warmth coming through that was in your old video as well, right? When you're talking about those pain points. Here's what I want to try and do. Do we have any social proof? Can we add some social proof into this page? I think they may need I find it peculiar that people aren't taking up on this offer, but this is to me, I find this a little bit frustrating, but a little bit of fun as well, because I'm like, this is a competition for me. I'm going to figure out exactly why it is, what's missing from this, what's making them sit there and get close, they're engaged, but not wanting to click. So in terms of the script, yeah, see, I love both of your scripts. Can we need to go back to adding some more trial closes in, because your first script was good at that, right? I do like how you're painting that future picture, and where you're saying things like, the families I teach don't fight about money, so they go on holidays, they save deposits to buy homes, they don't have debt, they have the choice to work flexibly, blah, blah. And you've got no obligation in there too, which is really important. No obligation. Have you got the, yep, you still got the not get rich quick, blah, blah. The only thing is, the one thing about both of these scripts is I don't know what I'm actually going to get out of the consult. Can we put some names, because I know that you had that in the last one to a point, can we put some names around the Master That Money private consult, put some names around things that they're going to be taking out of it, so you'll be able to walk out with a blah. Let's get just a little bit more outcome focused. That's probably the last way that I would test this video. I would ask a few more trial closes. That's what we're all after, right? Are you tired of the stress? It's, keep asking some trial closes, which are questions with yes answers. So I would use the second script, pepper a few more trial closes in, and just be really clear about what they're walking away with. So I'm going to actually take your hand and walk you through an action plan that regardless, you're going to be able to walk away with and do blah. You're going to achieve blah, right? And it doesn't have to save the world, because I know this is a free complimentary consult, right? But there needs to be something they can take away with it. So in mine, they were able to take away a funnel blueprint, which allowed them, when I was doing consults, it allowed them to know the exact steps that need to take place to get from where they are to where they want to be, and an action plan and that confidence in being able to take those. And of course, people at the end of that consult will be like, you know what, this has been insanely valuable. I need you to help me with this ongoing, right? Because they see that you're an expert at it. But regardless, they want to know that from that time, there is something they're walking away with. So I would just focus a little bit more, use the second script, a few more trial closes, and almost a little higher up, we need to say, no, you're good how you've added that. I want to help you with something special to help you even more. Probably down 3/4 of the way down. In our Master That Money private consult, we're going to be covering bang, 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 bang. And I would just say a couple more times, I would just say that it's free. Completely free, no obligation. I don't actually think you've got the word free in here. Wait, is the consult free? You got once saying the word free. I'd say it every time, your free consultation. Free, free, free. I just say that a few more times. Tweak that a little bit, and then just get back to the warm you. Just think of the mums that are struggling with the cash, just back to the warm you. You're really good on camera. You're not going to find this difficult. We just got to get this script to work. Once the script works, it's like, sweet, right? That's just becomes that 24/7 sales machine, and you just have to be picking up the phone. But we just got to get this video to work. It's worth it. I can promise you it's worth it. It's worth getting the video to work on this second page. Yeah, make those couple of changes. That's what I would personally recommend. Okay, I hope that helps. I remember for my webinar funnel, the one that went on to make 3 mil from that particular webinar, but then taught me how to do it with the rest of my webinars. I had to do the whole presentation 3 times until it just connected. Felt like I was saying the same thing. And then once it worked, I haven't touched it since, and it's made $3 million. So it's worth getting it to work. Most people, they give up, right? Because they're like, nah, I can't be bothered. And they almost get angry at their market for not saying yes. And I'm like, no, these women need you. I know like so many people who need you. They just aren't quite there. So what else do they need? Are they super outcomes focused, and they just need to be really clearly understanding that for free, they're going to walk away with this. Let's just figure out what they need. Okay, Sandy, your question is in the portal. Let me go and have a quick looky look. Sort by first name. It's not alphabetical order. Anyway, Sandy, when creating an audience or interest group, yep, they're both the same thing. Can you choose specific people who have a Facebook page to target? Do they need to have a certain amount of followers, and how do you choose them? Yeah. Do you just type their name in as an interest, or type in their Facebook page? So it's either usually the name or the brand, right? So it's not so much that you're targeting the Facebook. You can't target a Facebook, did you say page or group? Can't target a Facebook page, but all the big names, once they get a certain amount of following or a certain amount of traction, the big brands or big personalities will automatically appear as an interest group. So all the big guys will, if you type in a name of someone and they're not appearing as an interest, that's usually a sign there's not enough traction about them online for in a Facebook sense for them to warrant turning that into its own interest. So it just kind of happens automatically when there's enough people engaging in a page, or when there's enough people clicking and searching and following personalities. The biggest thing in choosing personalities is to make sure that the personalities are niche enough. So I was giving the example, you might have been in there actually, Sandy, of golf the other day, how like you probably don't want to choose Tiger Woods because people in 2014 were following Tiger Woods for all the wrong, like for not reasons, but because they wanted to buy golf clubs, or they wanted to go to golf holidays in France, right? They're people that were looking at the media that surrounded that, and not people that were passionate about golf. So normally, if I'm going for interest groups, I'll pick a personality who's a little bit more obscure, who only my target market would know. So normally, if they're like in all the big publications in the newspaper and things like that, I'm like, that's going to dilute the quality, because a lot of people are interested in those. I want to specifically focus on people who are people outside of my niche wouldn't really know this person. So not super obscure, but enough. Like even, Tony Robbins' self-help. The quality is like fine, but it doesn't tend to be great because everyone kind of knows him. Whereas when you're going a little bit more niche, like someone who's won a tournament, I don't know what they're called. I know they're not called Grand Slams. Can we just say tournament in golf? Then and they're like an Appleby, or someone who's, I don't know golfers. This is really embarrassing because my husband and brother are both almost pro golfers and would hate me for this. Would be disappointed in me for this, but you know what I mean. Going after someone who's niche enough that they're not super in press a lot. Same with like Oprah. She's too broad, too mass media. We want to go niche. Is the biggest one there. That's my main rule when I'm trying to find personalities. I'm like, will this really qualify the kinds of people that I'm talking to? Okay. Next question is Amanda. But yeah, if they're not coming up when you type them into your normal interest sections, then they're not big enough to warrant an audience following, according to Facebook. Sometimes they're behind a bit. Sometimes they have become large, but only the last few months or less than a year. But normally they keep up with it pretty closely. Amanda, let me just check. I'm going to sort by first name again because this is not working. Okay, got you, Amanda. I'm getting ready to launch my funnel. Cool. Creating my Facebook ad. Awesome. Now, in terms of my only thing with yours, Amanda, if you're using a self-liquidating funnel for network marketing, they usually are only best for people that are in that more, that they've progressed in that more, in being well known in their industry. So self-liquidating funnels, you'll see that as you're moving through, that's better for people who have kind of gone to that next level in terms of a little bit of a following, a little bit of a presence, not necessarily even a thought leader, but someone who's got quite a bit of a following. So just be aware of that. If you are in startup stage, you wouldn't start with self-liquidating. Also because you want to be generating bigger money faster. And with the self-liquidating funnel, you just, a lot of people just start off with $37 and $97 and then go, why am I making money? And it's like, well, you can't make money if you just sell $37 and $97 through a funnel and that's it, right? That would be like all about the email database and it'd all about be adding on products to the higher end of the value ladder. So in your case, I would use the network marketing funnel. I just wonder if there's a reason why you didn't use a network marketing funnel. That tends to work best. Because, well, and in most cases, you can't sell your own product on your own ClickFunnels page. So just keep that in mind. And you're building a portal online. Oh, but you've created a challenge that's completely separate from your networking company. Okay, so you're going through your own funnel, and then to your list, you'll continue to sell the products that you've got access to. Is that right? I still, if you're an unknown name, you've got to give a little bit more before people will trust you with a credit card. So that's why consults work well, or webinars work well, or really chunky lead magnets work well that are like actual case studies or videos or things like that, things where they can get to know you a little bit better. Because otherwise it's just like saying to someone random on Facebook, hey, I can really help you. Can I grab a credit card quickly? And they'll be able to help you. And they're like, I don't know who you are. I don't trust you. I get hit up by this kind of stuff all the time. Whereas if you're giving first through webinars, through really chunky lead magnets, through live events with a really low cost commitment, like my $1 live event, stuff like that, that's when you get better traction if you're in that startup stage. Let me have a quick look at the landing page. Sometimes a downloadable just isn't enough. You can usually build a relatively good email list from that. Let me have a good look. Oh, yes, I remember yours. Again, make sure you take off the first name. So always take off the first name on the first landing page. It's just email capture, just pure email capture. Nice video. Nice video. Hot. Yeah, so let's put this baby live. I just don't know if you've got, and you may already have enough of a following, right, to be able to go straight to this, which is fine, and enough of that kind of authority. So what I would be doing, let me just have a quick look at the rest of the question quickly. And you got the portal there. So what I would be doing first, cool, test@mail.com. Let me just quickly jump in. Beautiful. Good job. So what I'll be doing is getting this baby live and seeing how cheaply we can attract emails for, right? To see if we've got the initial message right. So, yeah, making sure that we can attract emails at an affordable price, like trying to be getting emails definitely under $5. Hopefully in your market, like ideally $2 emails would be really great to start building up that database. And then that once we figured out that that works, then we have a look at that thank you page offer, which is the $37 offer. And we may need to test 1 or 2 price points on that to make sure that's really fitting the market and what they're actually after. Let me just go back to that next page. Virtual transformation challenge. Cool. I reckon in this, you might want a little bit more social proof. Oh, P.S. Tonia. Just quickly, I was saying before with your testimonial, I would almost put one in the video. If you can get someone that you know who you've asked their money to do a quick selfie video of them talking about you, just a little quick 20-second clip, and actually insert that into the video when you're talking about people that you've been able to help get out of debt. They kind of believe you, but they also want to be able to believe someone else about you as well. So it works even better if you're able to throw in a quick testimonial from someone at that point. I reckon peppering in a few more testimonials in yours too, Amanda. And you know what I would do? Under the opt-in form, I would definitely be putting, under the 2-step order form, I'd definitely be putting a testimonial in there as well, just a little one. It's almost more important than your locks right there. Just because you're in a very skeptical market, a very saturated market, we need to be able to have a cut-through message. Yeah, and the biggest thing, I guess, in these kinds of cases is making sure when you're in a saturated market, which most of us are in now, there's got to be a reason why you're different from everyone else out there. So, because there's so many people out there that are doing this kind of stuff for a whole heap cheaper, like what is the thing that's setting you apart? What is the kind of message that's different to all the other people in the weight loss industry? And that was kind of like what I did in going into the entrepreneurial space. I was just so sick of all the fluff, and I was really quite loud about that. I'm like, you know, if you're into the fluff, we're not good for each other. But if you're ready to stop the dreaming and the wishing and the wanting and the planning, and you just want to get stuff done and you want to learn clever stuff that's actually going to move the needle, and you're willing to roll up your sleeves and you're not, you know, in this for the short run, then let's talk, where, you know, that's where I can help. And kind of going against stuff that was there in the marketplace. So slim in 6, yeah, that would be the biggest thing there. I reckon your page is just all about the social proof. So I would try and pepper in a social proof around the down there below the form where the icons are. Usually if there's a testimonial below where they're entering information, it'll increase the entry of information by 30%. So if 5 out of 100 people are filling out that form and then you put a testimonial in front, you'll be able to see like that get up to 7 or 8 people just without doing anything, right? Another seven people without doing anything else to the whole page, just by making that little tweak. So putting in the testimonial below, and then I'd love to see a testimonial above the fold. I'm wondering if we even put a really small one in there where your email is, swapping that out for up the top there, just because everyone's seen this before, right? And they need to see that social proof that you're actually someone that people follow. Yeah, but otherwise, let's go with this. Let's try and build up an email database, because if we've got emails, we've got to recognize that every email in your community is a human being, and a human being who's shown initial interest in you is likely to be someone that you can work with and someone you can help. And they may not be ready today, but, you know, my whole the whole marketing stats around this, how 3% of people are ready right now when they find you. 6 to 7% of people are open to buying from you if you treat them right and you look after them in those first 2 weeks. It's dealing with 10%. 60% never want to work with you. They weren't a good fit. They were the ones who will just opt out, which is great. We know that we weren't going to be able to help those guys anyway, but there's that other 30%. So we want to get this funnel to be able to at least be breaking even, so that you can be looking after people, those 30% and those repeat purchases, through your email campaigns. So focus on getting an affordable email first, and then we'll focus on this page a little bit more. Add some testimonials in here right now, because that will certainly help. But then we might need to play around with prices. We might need to play around with the way we're positioning the offer or the video. There might be a couple of things we'll play around with. Or it might just work first time. That would be really cool. Awesome. Next question is from Hot Video, by the way. Really professional. I like it. I like it when people really put the heart in. Kate, let me have a look at yours. Okay. So my question is about, okay, so SEO. I have completed module 7. Yep. I've installed Yoast. Cool. So let me just have a quick look just about your tagging. She's just sent me through a screenshot about Yoast. So there's yeah, so there's just a couple of things in there. The keyword itself that you're trying to optimize for, your focus keyword, you normally put that into Yoast. It's just basically telling you that that you haven't actually used that keyword enough at all in your copy. So it's a basic SEO principle that if you've got a page that's trying to rank for bath bombs, and you don't have bath bombs in the first paragraph of copy, or usually around 2 to 3% keyword density. So 2 to 3% of your words on the page are, so if you've got 100 words on the page, that you've used 2 or 3 of those to say the word bath bomb. If that's not the case, you're just missing opportunities. So it's just because Google likes to be able to go to your page, and if someone's looking for a life coach, they want to be able to see on your page that you've actually used the word life coach, because then as a result, Google's like, you know what, I'm more confident that this is a good website to show people who are looking for a life coach. So it just kind of validates that that there's more credibility throughout the site, because you don't just mention the word life coach, you've actually got it on a lot of your pages and you use it multiple times. So you don't want to do what's called keyword stuffing. Sometimes people keyword stuff pages, so it's really unnatural what they're saying, and it's just, sometimes they use it 7 or 8% of the time, and it's just way too much. But it's just peppering through your keywords through your content. That's the main thing there. And then they also like it. Google likes it with the outbound link section. Google likes it on your website if each of your pages is linking out to a high authority site. So a high authority site are like newspapers or government pages or education pages, like websites, or what else are high authority sites? Social pages, usually high authority sites. Anything that's seen as a really credible source, but normally it's around education websites, news media websites, industry body websites, like associations and things like that normally have high credibility. Government pages have high credibility, stuff like that. Yeah, so that's the only thing it's saying, but I wouldn't stress out about that too much. Your keyword, let me just have a quick look at your video. Just copy. Yeah, so in your market, it all depends on the keywords that you're trying to rank for. So if you're trying to rank for yoga, then you're going to need to pay an SEO expert to help you rank for that. It's going to cost a lot of money. If you want to try and rank for yoga Adelaide, a little bit easier, right? But if we're trying to go after like big, broad terms, we normally have to have larger budget and outsource that kind of work. Now, your other question too was about, that your videos are looking low quality when you upload them onto YouTube. Should I tweak something in my export settings? Can you let me know what platform you're using to edit? Because I know what you mean. They are lower quality. Let me just quickly, I'll just turn off the sound. No, they're definitely not deal breakers. You look really engaging too. Good on you. Yay! Girlies who can present to camera. Good on you, Kate. Are you reading? Because I cannot tell. Good job. Well done. I don't think you need to stress too much about that. I think the quality is fine. When you press play, it kind of loads and it's pretty good. YouTube will automatically decrease the quality if you're on a low connection internet as well. But all the platforms will. But yeah, let me know what one you're on. I'll just quickly see. ScreenFlow. Yeah, it should be fine. Are you exporting at 50% or 100%? Maybe export at 100% if you're not already, but it's not a deal breaker in my opinion. I think that one's fine. Rachel, let me have a look at your question. Well done. I'm impressed. P.S. Kate, the main reason I'd be interested in you ranking on Google would be if you're wanting to get local search. It's too big and too saturated a market to try and get online yoga, to try and dominate that space, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, the only reason I'd be doing SEO would be if I was trying to get some local foot traffic. Rachel's question, can you please look at my website and give me some feedback on the layout? Yes, I can. So I've got, oh, good girl, layout, pop-ups, leave intent, and products. Okay. I currently have Kit, Shopify, virtual, yep. Doing retargeting ads on Facebook after doing my own ad last week. Okay, so low buy rate. Okay. What do you sell? Because it kind of looks like you're an outdoors. I have absolutely no idea what you sell. It kind of looks like you're an outdoors store. But then I look down below and it looks more like more kids and toys. camping. Okay, so you are outdoors. I feel like the homepage has some really mixed messages in it. Would be my thing. I was just trying to figure it out. Yeah, you're definitely an outdoor store. I reckon get your water toys off the front page and the back and the kids' backpacks and stuff. Personally, because I reckon that's like, that doesn't at all represent you, in my opinion. Yeah, it's cool. Unless they're your top sellers, right? But if they're your top sellers, it's just there's a lot of different things on this website. Like survival is a whole niche in itself. Hiking and camping is a whole niche in itself. Snowboarding, skiing, they're a niche in itself. Like picnicking, water toys, paddleboarding. And I'm guessing the pop-up down the bottom left is that a fake pop-up? Just where it's saying that people have just purchased something, and people have just purchased something else. Yeah, so there's a couple of things. Are you leaving us? So a couple of things here that could definitely help. I feel like the pop-up to the left-hand side and the drop-down from the top didn't actually have anything to do with your, like it wasn't specific. It kind of looked like a generic thing. It almost looked like something that would come up on a business building site. So if it's coming in, let's put a photo in there of outdoor adventure activities, right? And let's put a text that actually applies to them and where they're at. Because at the moment, nothing is specific to this store. You could have put that same pop-up on a beauty store or on a scuba diving store or on they're very generic in the way that they are written and the way they're displayed. They're almost too corporate. They need to kind of reflect a little bit more of the site in that as well. I'm going to give you an example. See, I want you to, I've just done something for you actually that you're going to love. I want you to go and have a look at this website. You're going to have a look at Boom by Cindy Joseph, boombycindyjoseph.com. So I just did a training with Ezra, who's pretty big in this space. He's got this particular store's making, I'm going to say 20, he makes like 25 million from his stores or something like that. He's got 2 7-figure stores and 1 8-figure store from memory. Anyway, this is a really good example, particularly about the top navigation part there. So making sure that you've got the search functionality, but definitely putting a phone number in the top increases conversions, and then some sort of tagline to show what you're about in that top header section. Also, keep in mind that in almost every case, color and black on a white background converts better than white on a black background. So that definitely, having cleaner looking navigations definitely increases conversion. It's like a marketing psychology thing, and it applies to e-commerce stores as well. So have a look at what's like, even just forcing a phone number in there definitely will increase conversions. And then they've got Boom Club, which is the best way to get involved in the next sort of, and the best way for them to sell. In the next 7 or so days, I'll have that video that I did with him on Friday. I'll have that edited and up, and I want you to really check that out. If we've got 0% conversion rate, we need to focus on the store first, right? If we're sending traffic to this store and your store is converting at 0%, there's stuff that's fundamentally wrong with the store. So firstly, the homepage is important, but then it's important to track where they're dropping out. Because like if I click on this pet carrier thing and I hit one, add to cart. PS, reviews and stuff are really important in store layouts. So definitely consider those as well, reviews and feedback. Checkout process, so checkout. And it's a 2-step, isn't it? So you can go via PayPal or via card, I'm guessing, in a 2-step form. So it'll be interesting to see. There are plugins that you can add to track if people are not getting to the store at all. It's a problem with the way that the products are presented. It's a problem with the overall brand / layout of the environment of the store. If people are getting to the cart and dropping out, it's a problem with the checkout process. So there's I guess 2 steps to that, and they're very different steps in terms of how you need to fix and approach the fix on the store. So definitely worth checking. Are we getting partial completions? Are we getting people at least giving an email address? Like, where are people dropping out in this process? Or is no one even getting to the checkout process? Is no one even starting to process their cart? And if that's the case, there's probably more with the offering and the brand and how that's coming across. So, I mean, this is such a good example. Boom by CindyJoseph.com. They're spending millions on Facebook each year and they're making tens of millions back. So, yeah, huge authority and everything. There's nothing on this website is an accident. Not one thing. Yeah. And people tend to not just buy the product, people buy the story and the brand. And you know what I mean? Like the brand and the way that's coming across is so important in an e-commerce store, because they're not just there for the product. If they are just there for the product, you're just on a price war and you just got to be the cheapest. They're there because of the brand, because of the community, because of the message, the way you're positioning yourself. And right now I feel like that's really confused on the homepage. Next question is from Alicia. Are you better to have limited images in your email nurtures? Yes. You get into someone's spam box if you have heaps of images through them, which sucks, but is true. So I try and minimize the images. I usually will have one image. Often it'll be a video image, like with a play button on it, because I want them to go through and watch a video. But yeah, I'll often have an image in my emails. But again, it's another thing that you can test, right? If you were to do set up your emails and put an image in them and check the click-through rate, or check the open rate and click-through rate after 7 days, swap it out, take the image out, see if that increases it, right? So yeah, there's a few things around spam that will increase it, but photos is definitely one. Particularly Gmail does not like heaps of images. If you're going to get out of the promotions box, the fewer images, the better for sure. Hoyong Lau, are we able to ask only one question today? No, you can't ask like probably 20, but no, you can ask multiple questions. That is fine. Just pop them in the chat box. Annie, your question is in the portal, I think you said. Did you? Yes. Annie, got it. Morning, Grace. Just wondering if you can have a look at my landing page, see if there's anything that I could change. Cool. Let me have a look. Okay. Cool. So definitely up the top, we need to have some authority pieces. The logo being pasted on the header, kind of a little, doesn't look super professional. So if I were you, I'd just tweak the colors a bit. The blue header, probably not so much. I mean, if you're wanting to do a free plus shipping, you're going to have better success if you're using a landing page. Because you're wanting to do a free sample. Let me just click free sample. Yeah, this will really struggle to convert. If I were you, I'd be using a landing page. So I've got an awesome free plus shipping landing page in week 2 of the Identity Project. Email me if you haven't got it, and I'll be able to send you through that funnel. Because when you've got it on that website page like that, there's just so many design aspects there that just aren't going to work. So the bottom button is too far below the fold when you have to scroll down to hit the button that far. The text is different sizes and it's not the right kind of text laid out in the right kind of way. The header itself needs to have more trust symbols in it happening. So there's a few things there with the landing page that my landing pages, the ones that I give you are set up to convert. So, and even if you just look at the landing page and it's like screenshot it and make your own version, you don't have to use my landing page builders. That's just often the cheapest because people usually spend a lot on web developers to do it themselves. But you don't have to use mine. You can get a web developer, whoever made that page, you can get them to mimic something, but it actually has to convert better, and that means there's got to be some conversion principles on it. So I've got a really good free plus shipping page. It's hot. So yeah, just email us if you need it, but otherwise, then just ask for the ClickFunnels free plus shipping page. And you can just jump in there. You can just get a 14-day trial of ClickFunnels so that you can see the page. You don't even have to buy it. Just see the page, screenshot it, and then you can cancel your account if you don't want to stay. But that's the best way to see the landing pages that I use. Next question is from Elvita. Yours is in the portal. Let me have a look. E is there. Okay. So I got your other one here as well. Choosing between the consult funnel or the low-priced online course funnel. In your case, I would definitely be going the consult funnel for sure. Definitely. Because the biggest thing is, right, the whole reason why we always start with more human connection than less is because when we're getting into this whole online world, right, a lot of people typically before they got into the online world were just relying on word of mouth and referrals and networking and stuff like that. When you then get into the online world, you want to try and perfect the thing that you've already been getting traction with and having success in. So that has to start with that more face-to-face, one-to-one kind of process or approach to how you deliver your service. We're going to do it we're going to get the traffic in an online way and use a funnel to fill that up. But the delivery in a face-to-face, one-to-one is a much better place to start when you're in that more sort of consulting, counseling, coaching kind of side. And then once we've nailed that, we've got that humming, then we can try the online funnel, doing something a little bit out of the ordinary for you, like going online one-to-one and then online one-to-many. But if we try and jump straight from no funnel and a whole new, like from no funnel in one business model to putting a funnel in place in a new business model that we've never tested, there's just so many variables and so many lessons to learn that it's often best to go back, apply a funnel to the current thing that you're actually already doing quite well. Make that hum. Enjoy generating income from that. And then we'll go and move on to something new. I was talking to someone the other day who runs a beauty salon, and she's like, I want to take it online. I want to do online courses, right? But I've never done any advertising before, and the current face-to-face salon is fine, but it's definitely not humming, right? It's a real struggle to keep getting clients and that kind of thing. And I'm like, you know what? You know the salon world. You don't know the teaching people online world. You know the salon world. Let's use an online funnel to fill up the salon world because there's less work, there's less lessons to do there. Let's get that one humming. You got a higher chance of success with that. Once that's humming, then you can pull yourself out a bit and focus on the next step. And now that you've learned the funnel, you can apply that more familiar concept to an unfamiliar business model. So adding a funnel for the first time and changing your business model, harder to do. Making sense? So yeah, I would definitely stick with the consult business model if I were you. It's way easier to get people to convert to give you their time than it is to give you their credit card. Let me have a quick look at your video script as well. Good job. You chose consult in the end. You did well. Cool. Can you please outline a lot more about the benefits of this consult again? So explain what you're going to be doing in the consult, what they're going to be able to walk away with. They're inherently selfish. They do have limited time. They do have limited things that they can focus on. Why is there? It's good that you've done the no obligation. You've done no clash, no catch. You've done urgency with limited spots available, that kind of stuff. But let's one, put the benefits of the consult in there more. And that's probably between the big chunky paragraph and the next chunky paragraph. It's probably in there. And then the other thing is, at the beginning, I think you talk about yourself a tiny bit too long. I'd say, you know, hey there, thanks for downloading the blah. It's on its way to your inbox. But before you go, I wanted to let you know about an exclusive opportunity that I'm opening up this week, and would love to give, and feel, you know, would be, and know would be an incredible next step for you towards achieving blah. And then go into, let me ask you a question, and then off you go. So yeah, I'd focus more on them at the front. It's a little bit too you focused. Just expect that, like, they're just inherently selfish. They don't care about you. They just care about themselves. So try and focus the front part of the video on that. They will care about you when you start getting a relationship and start really solving their problems, but right now they don't. Couple of tweaks there. Should engage better. Good job, smashing through it. Okay, next question is from, what is the difference between Opt-in Monster and the extensions download MailChimp Lock? MailChimp Lock, haven't heard of it. I'm guessing it's a plugin. It's a extension for opt-ins. Access to downloads. Allows you, MailChimp Lock allows you to require users. Sorry, this question was Houng. For the person who's transcribing this video, it's Houng. Houng? Sorry, Dal. Allows you to require users to be subscribed to your MailChimp list before they gain access to a download. So they sign up. I did not see the value in that at all. You don't need that. I don't see the value in that at all. Opt-in Monster is basically a plugin creator that allows you to put plugins onto your website. So you wouldn't use that on your landing pages. You don't want extra plugins on your landing pages. You'd use it on your website so that people, when people are visiting your site, it might be an exit intent. So when they scroll off your page, as though they're going to close the tab or close the browser or hit back or something like that, it appears, or it can appear after a certain amount of time, normally around the 13, 15-second mark, once they've been on your website for that long for the pop-up to appear. So, yeah, that's Opt-in Monster. And they work really well. Like I was just looking the other day, I don't send any traffic at all to my website. No traffic to my website at all. I send them all to landing pages. And the other day, this is really naughty because I don't nurture them, these particular people, because I didn't realize that they were opting in this much. But I've got a pop-up manager on my website, and I had a look, and I'm getting like 100 emails a week, I think, or more maybe. Yeah, 100 emails a week on average, entering their email into that pop-up. And I think they get directed to a thank you page straight away. So they go into the funnel from that pop-up, they get pushed into the funnel. But I'm not really looking after those people, and that's naughty. Oh, I guess I am in my normal email broadcasts. But yeah, that was a big one. Learning that even if I wasn't sending traffic there, people were still, you know how when you're using Facebook ads and you're moving people through a funnel, about 3/4 of people will do what you want them to do, move through the funnel. About 1/4 of the people will go and do some background research first, and they won't go the normal steps. So I want to go and Google you, look at your website, or look at your followers on Facebook, or whatever that is. They're just not the kinds of people that follow instruction as much, which is fine. So they're the sorts of ones that will tend to go and look at your website. And if your website's set up properly, that those pop-ups and things like that, your Opt-in Monster will capture an email and then move them on into the funnel, back to the place where you did originally want them to go. Slightly different if you've got an e-commerce store, obviously. But yeah, pop-up is really important. Pop-ups are really important. If you've got an pop-up for an e-commerce store, I highly recommend either demonstrations or tutorials being the lead magnet, or joining the club, right, and getting access Sorry, it just cut out for a moment. Can you see and hear me okay? I'm going to have to move platforms. I thought it was an internet problem because I had really bad internet last week in LA, in California, in Newport Beach. But it just did that bit again. I thought that was internet connection, but I'm on like high speed 4G internet right now. I just need to bite the bullet. We just need to move to something else. Okay. Anyway, I need to make a note of that. Move live sessions. Move live sessions platform. Okay. You're welcome, guys. Houng, so your question about being an acupuncturist. How do I give them a free offer? Would it be one of my downloadables? I do one of two things there. So you can, when you're in those local-based areas and you're doing face-to-face local kind of appointments, in most cases in Facebook, when you're doing your targeting, you literally just have to put the geographical area that you service because that's already so small. And the Facebook pixel's clever enough that it sees the kinds of people that are pausing on your ad, reading your ad, clicking on your ad, and it realizes it kind of optimizes itself. It's like, oh, it tends to be more female and it tends to be more this age group and these kinds of interests. So your pixel will optimize itself to a point. And so when you're in a really small local area, I tend to just put in the geographical region. So people that live in or around Sydney or something like that, or in or around Adelaide or whatever that looks like. And it tends to optimize itself. If you've got like a city of, it probably wouldn't do it in Sydney. I would do it mainly in the smaller suburban areas, like the Northern Beaches or if you've got a couple of million people, you could probably limit it a little bit more. But otherwise, if you're just in a normal town or a normal smaller city, just put the geographical area in. Now, what would you give them? In acupuncturist, I would actually try one that gives them a really cool offer for their first appointment. So you don't even have to put in a lead magnet. You go straight to a really cool offer for the first appointment. And so that goes straight through to a booking page, only because you're in a local area. There are certain people that are ready to click on that, and there are others that I would probably have two ads running. One that goes through the funnel through to a downloadable. I wouldn't use a downloadable. I would use probably a case study in your case. I would use the consult funnel. I'd use a case study to show people the power of acupuncturists. I know you can't do testimonials. I know you can do reviews. I know you can't do testimonials, but you can usually do case studies. I'm not a lawyer. This isn't legal advice, but you can usually do case studies in your space and show, you might usually have to use fictional people, but show the power of acupuncture and the kind of taking people from the problem to that brand new day, showing that kind of transformation so that people can see how it all works. So you got that going on for a lead magnet version, but I would also do an ad, just try an ad going straight through to the consult. The only thing is you need to give them a reason why they would want to book in now. So it needs to be for a limited time. You've got a special blah. So if you're a hair salon, it should be a glass of bubbles with their first appointment. If you're a dentist, it should be a free x-ray with your your first dental appointment, right? Because you're obviously after the recurring client. And you're obviously, you'd like to make money off the first session, but you're going to make more money off the consequent sessions when you don't have to advertise because you've already got them as part of your client base. So yeah, if you've got something you can give them, a free something, a discount, something that you can add in or remove in price, that is a real incentive to book now. Usually works best. Next question is from Caroline. So she submitted hers through the portal. Let me have a look, Caroline. Just a quick question here too from you, Hoying. I've been told that I should get my Facebook likes to over 1,000. If I can get my likes over 1,000, I was told that Facebook would stalk my customers without me having to do anything. Is that correct? No. Facebook stalks your customers regardless, But no, it doesn't really matter. The impact of your likes is only on your authority to people that are researching and wanting to find out more. So it's only an authority piece. You will, when you're doing advertising, you will, as a side bonus, be getting likes on your page anyway. So I've never paid for a like, but we've got, I don't know, 80,000 likes. I don't know, haven't looked lately. .com/Grace Biz. 90,000 likes. And I've never bought a like. I've just spent money on advertising, and as a result, the likes just come in. So don't worry too much about that. Carolyn, your question is under for Caroline. Carmela, not there. Let me just hit refresh. For those that just joined me, welcome. I'm answering questions from first through to last. Let me know in the chat box if you sent your question into the portal. Just pop that in the chat box and I'll be able to help you with that. Found yours, Caroline. Okay. Cool. So in your case, best type of funnel for yours. So my only thing would be having a really good look at your profit margins in that kind of a market. So she's just in a market that sells take-home art and craft packs for birthdays. So there's definitely money in that, but you've got to be doing really high volume. So it's going to be expensive to build up the list and the brand presence because your margins, I'm guessing, are going to be quite low. There's only so much you can charge for those. Otherwise, it's something that people go and do themselves. And yeah, in terms of saving time and money, you're saving a bit of time, but it's got to be, it's pretty price-based, right, to make sure it's affordable. Obviously quality as well, but it's the kind of stuff that if you've got the right market, it can work, but the profit margins are the thing that's going to take longer to get this off the ground because there's just such low profit margins in it. So in terms of, but once we do build up a bigger email list that you can be communicating with regularly, that works. It's just that with this email list, like you can't even really do promotion-based stuff. Like it makes it quite hard because they only need to buy around their kid's birthday time. So if their kid's birthday, and I know they've got multiple kids and that's fantastic, but if they've got a child and their birthday's in August, you really have no reason to reach out to them until a year's time. So if I were you, probably my main focus would be looking at increasing your value ladder, because having that one product alone is going to really limit the potential income. If you've got a low profit margin, low cost product, that's great for impulse buy, but if you've got a low cost priced product, you want to make sure that you've got frequency in terms of how many times people tend to buy that product. If you've got low cost and it's not a frequent purchase, it's very expensive to get it to work. So I would probably say my first thing would be seeing how we can increase the customer lifetime spend. What else can you sell to increase your customer lifetime spend? It's a good market in the mums market. They all talk to each other, but it's also super saturated as well. So you've got to have a reason why you're different to everyone else to be able to create that following of people who get behind you and promote you and advocate for you for free because they just love what you do. In terms of a funnel, I mean, as I said, my first step would be making sure that I kind of estimate realistically the value ladder, look out there at your competitors, validate this business model. Are other people doing this? I mean, if you're already making bucket loads of money from this, then that's awesome. And you just got to apply the funnel to streamline the income. But if this is relatively new business, got to go and validate it, see what other people out there in your market are doing. Is there anyone else really successful just selling this? Or are the main competitors in your space who are making great money, are they selling, have they got better upsells and cross sells that increase customer lifetime value? Consider that first. When you come to the down, I think in your case, you're probably going to just have to go in with a simple competition funnel. It's going to be hard to financially sustain this when you've just got such a small value ladder. I mean, you're probably going to have to go in the competition level, but you've got to convert to purchase super quick because people are actively looking when they're actively looking. I'd probably go the competition model in your case. I wouldn't go free sample. But yeah, the main thing is the business model, making sure that that's not flawed before you start, because no, the best funnel in the world can't fix a flawed business model. So if the customer lifetime spend just isn't there, your advertising will always outspend or outweigh your income, which is not fun to find out 6 months down the track. It's better to nail this one now. Jump into the doing validation checklist. Jump into module 2, do the doing validation checklist. Make sure that it's really, really humming before you get too focused on the funnel itself. Next question is from, hold on. Jane is next. I've answered that question. So Jane's question is, un momento. Who's that? Oh, Adam. So one question here around feedback on your page. I'm getting 75% emails. Whoop, whoop. Good job. First challenge, tick. You know how to get cheap emails. And you've got to remember that every single one of those emails is a human being, okay, who has a credit card and who could potentially want to work with you in some way. So let me have a quick look at these. Oh, this is Jane. Awesome. So what was the question? So obviously the first landing page is working well. The second landing page, I was thinking about you the other day.
When I talk to other mums, a common...
Yes, so how many people have you had go to this page? Let me know that first. How many people you've had go to this page? 1 second. I'll just go to the second page. To the how many people have gone to the thank you page? Which is in the same thing as saying how many emails have you had? I would put the wooden kitchen. Cool. So you've got multiple food product things going on. Yeah, let me just have a quick look. So I'll make sure there's a button higher up on the page as well. And then I also want you to check out, in your case, I really want you to check out the Ezra video, because that's just going to get you a little bit more strategy around working the email list to figure out working the email list and these landing pages to figure out what message is connecting and cutting through with people as well. So when we get the cheaper emails, it's a really good sign, because it tends to be that we don't have to work on the Facebook ad, or the if the competition really aligns with your end product, we don't have to work on the Facebook ad or the first landing page, because we know that these people, we're getting email addresses of people that would consume your product. Right, and they tend to be obviously lower quality emails than more intensive, free plus shipping, but you got higher volume of them. So they're lower because they're wanting something without paying, but you do get the upside of the fact that there is higher volume and they're usually super cheap. And so there's still a percentage of people in there that can be your ideal clients. So yeah, I'd make sure the button is definitely up higher. And I would, rather than check out our large range, I'll be saying things like, yes, claim my discount, or yes, get my free gift, or something like that, because at the moment it seems like it's too broad an experience, right? So I'll be saying something like, yes, exclamation mark, get my free gift. They click on that and that goes through. The biggest thing from that point on would be monitoring how many people are clicking on this button. Because we want we want to make sure that people are clicking on the button and going on over to the store. If we've got lots of people clicking but no one buying, it's usually a sign of the store's environment. But if we've got not many people clicking, the offer's not good enough for them. They're not interested in that kind of an offer. We haven't explained it in the right way. So double check that. Your other one around, yeah, good. I like it that it's more specific. Yep, every 8 weeks is totally fine. Exactly right. I would definitely have the store page. Sorry, I would definitely have the thank you page as your conversion page. So when you're setting up your custom conversion, you want them, the first step is you want them to get through to the custom conversion page, being the thank you page, right? But you've got to remember that if you in e-commerce, it's all about the retargeting, right? Because they might not have bought in that moment because they're excited about the competition, but we've got to keep on chasing up those people. So it's much cheaper. Your retargeting ads are so much cheaper because you're just targeting people who have already shown interest and actually given you an email address. So I actually would advertise to everyone who's got through to that thank you page and show them Facebook ads where you're pushing them back, and you don't have to go through a lead magnet again. They've already done that. You just push them directly back to the store. So I would get your most popular product out of all of those wooden fruit veggie kind of products. I'll get the most popular product, do an ad for that, and have an image of the product with a kid using it or something like that. Talk specifically about the product and just show that retargeting ad, just show that to people that have given you an email address. So instead of choosing your own audience, you set up what's called a custom audience. So make sure that you go into Facebook, choose audiences, select create a custom audience based on, and just replay this later on if you need to, if you're not running this down, but into Facebook, go to audiences, create a custom audience and choose website traffic. And it'll say, okay, what page do you want to show? Like what page do you want people to have gone to be able to see this ad? And you say, I want them to have gone to my thank you page. You insert your thank you page. So now you know that everyone who's gone through there is already in your list. They need some retargeting. They need to be sent straight back to the store. And it's best to get to remove all the decision making and just show them your most popular product so they can click and go through and buy. So yeah, retargeting ads tend to be a better way to convert once we start getting that initial interest. It's just all about building up those lists. Because if you think about it, having a list on, and this is kind of what we go through in more detail in the Ezra chat, so definitely want you to watch that. Having more, having a custom audience in Facebook is kind of like Facebook's version of having an email list. Because when you capture an email address, you can then email those people based on what they've just done. But in Facebook, when you've got a custom audience, you can show them different Facebook ads based on where they've just been. So it's kind of just as almost as powerful as an email message because people are in Facebook just as much as they're in their inbox. So that's why it tends to work quite well when you're doing the retargeting element as well. Yeah, and Sandy, just with your audiences too, if they're smaller than, like some of my audiences that work well are still around the 10,000 people mark. It doesn't have to be crazy big. But yeah, you usually want it to be larger than that. But I've got some, obviously they burn out relatively quickly, but I've got some audiences that are smaller. But yeah, if they're too small, it's just not worth touching them. Next question is from Rachel. In your case, I would be getting you're a drop shipping store. Yeah. At least give a support email, at least. Just all those conversion points really matter. And you can always have an O2 number and it redirects through to a mobile and they leave a voicemail. Like, it doesn't have to have someone monitoring it 24/7. That's what I used to do. Had an O2 number, which was a local number, diverted through my mobile and I left a message. But yeah, it's got to at least be an email address, a contact email address. Yes, you can. Oh no, Carolyn, the free plus shipping is more of a no strings attached offer. That free plus shipping, that idea of giving free gifts along with the product could work if you've got a thank you page offer. But again, profit, I don't know where the profit margin would be. I don't know how you could make enough money. That's the biggest thing. When you do the doers validation checklist, you look at how much you actually want to earn and how much you've got to sell to be able to make that. And with some products, it's just like that's going to be a hard slog. Like, you're going to have to go 2 years of making very little, or you're going to just have to invest a heck of a lot to be able to grow quickly. And if people don't have heaps of money to invest and they've got really, really small margins, it's going to be hard to get traction with that. If you want it to be something that's generating some good income as soon as possible. What do you know how I review all my review? I'm not supposed to update. Good question. Janine's got a question here. Would you know how I can view my reviews on Facebook? I've noticed that Facebook have updated and now I can only view the last 11. And I know I've had over 30. And who would I need to contact? Facebook, unfortunately. No, I haven't noticed that. Can you send me just pop in here your Facebook page and I'll jump in and see what I can see. No, I haven't noticed that. Deanne's question, just pop that in the chat box, Janine, and I'll be able to help out. Deanne's question, I need a website where I will offer video podcasts when I'm starting my business after 5 years in government work. Can I do a 4-hour workshop at this stage? So Deanne, just be aware, podcast is a heck of a lot of time and commitment with very hard to track results. Podcast is normally something you do once you're making 7 figures. It's not normally the first thing to do because it just takes so much time to do it half decently. There's a lot of time commitment in terms of producing the content and streaming it. It's a big commitment. So I don't recommend my girls do podcasts early on. Just be aware of that, particularly if you're wanting to make money sooner rather than later, which most of us are. That doesn't have the return on investment to warrant it in the early startup stages. Can you do 4-hour workshops? Absolutely. So if your market are the kinds of people that meet up, the main markets where I tend to not recommend workshops are really sensitive markets. So dating or even elements of like fertility or just things that people don't catch up. They're just sensitive markets, right? Or addictions or things like that. Tend to not recommend doing group environments. It's just a harder thing to get people to rock up to. They work really well in any sort of mums or female markets, obviously. And yeah, kind of those more a lot of kind of passion-based markets, but just be aware of the workshops in the sensitive ones. But in most cases, workshops are a great fit, and you'll find more on that inside the Doing Academy. You'll find that in the workshop module, exactly how I do the workshop. So follow that formula closely. Don't just make it up yourself. If you want to know how I did workshops that made $1 million in the first 12 months, I would recommend doing it the way that I did it because it worked really well. And you can do workshops and have no one rock up and make no money. Or you can do workshops and have a great, engaged, high-quality room and make amazing money and impact so many people on a deeper level than you can when you're delivering your service purely online. That's why I love face-to-face. And that's why, too, you guys are members, so you'll be able to, any Australians who are in here right now, I'm touring Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, Adelaide in August and September. So the doing days aren't for current members. The doing, you guys, it's like way too basic for you guys, right? It's for people that haven't had the opportunity yet to be encouraged and supported and find out about this whole online world in a very initial startup way. Not startup way, but in the more foundational way. So with the doing days, we aren't having current members at the actual workshop just because you guys will be way too basic, but I'm holding a drinks after each of them. Drinks, but to be honest, it always turns to the girls because we're all doers. The girls often rock up, grab the champagne and then get their notebooks out and go, can we do some training? And I normally end up getting the whiteboard out and doing some training. So yeah, it's a great place to, one, catch up with the girlies who are in your community, and often we have all sorts of accountabilities that spur off from those. But two, I normally do some advanced training and we catch up, have a glass of wine, I answer questions, stuff like that. So I'm offering those complimentary to anyone in the cities that I travel to, which right now is those 4 cities. So I'll put some updates in the Facebook group about that leading up to those dates as well. I better do that soon because I think the first date is in 4 weeks. So I'll let you know sooner rather than later. Okay, next question. No, we've got a few girls in Darwin, Kate. You should connect in the accountability catch-up group. Or you could email us, and we can't give you contact details, but we can give you the names of people that are in Darwin in our community so that you connect with them on Facebook and have a catch-up. Because I know there are a few girls in, did I say WA? I meant to say NT. In Darwin. Okay. Yeah, so Monica's asking a question. Kate, just jump into the Doing Academy portal and go to accountability catch-ups and you'll see a group. I don't think the NT has one of its own. I think it's called Rural and Regional Australia. And we use that for Tasmania. I know you're not rural regional Australia, but it's not one of the core big cities. So yeah, Tasmania has one of those. So that covers Tasmania, NT, and then any areas like Canberra, anything outside of the main big ones. Now, quick question, Monica. I am currently using Agile for a CRM. Yep. Paying $80 a month per user. No, for one user per month. If I were to change to Infusionsoft, is it good technical support in Australia? Yes, they've actually got consultants here in Australia that you can work with that can do all the building for you if you want. Obviously, it costs money, but they can build it all out for you if you want and get it all set up, or they can just coach you in how to do that. Agile support locally is very bad. Yeah. An ongoing support, they have a really great video and email resource center that's like amazing, and then they have 24/7 live chat and an Australian phone number you can call between certain hours. So yes, all the systems that I recommend, a part of my criteria for recommending a system is that they have awesome support. And to get good support, you've got to ask the right question, right? You've got to be able to explain yourself well and have the person that's trying to help you understand what you're trying to achieve. But yes, I'm all about the support. I recommend ClickFunnels because the support is amazing on ClickFunnels. They'll often jump in and look at your funnels for you and be like, oh, this is what you've set up wrong here. That's why this isn't working. Infusionsoft support is amazing. I use Memberium for my portal when you get more advanced portals. Memberium support's probably the best support center in the world, I reckon. They're so responsive and so helpful. Webinar Jam support's really helpful. So all the stuff that I recommend, I've taken that into account as well. Some are horrible. Lead Pages support from memory aren't amazing, but they're the only other real competitor after ClickFunnels. So, but it's not as good as ClickFunnels support. Janine, let me have a quick look at this link that you've just sent me. See if I can see more than 11 reviews or not, or if it's just you. You've probably already tried this, right? But I can see them all. Under reviews in the left-hand menu, I can see all of your reviews. How weird that you can't. I can see them all though. So maybe, I don't know how you do that. Yeah, it might be when you're logged on as you. You might need to do it in a different browser. But yes, I can see all the reviews. I can see that you've answered a lot of them though. Yeah, you've answered and liked a lot of them, which is good. Okay, next question is from, where am I up to? So next question is from Alison. Awesome. So my business is a meal planning service that sends people weekly meal plans with step-by-step prep instructions for 5 meals. Okay. Let me have a quick look at this screenshot. She's just sent me the landing pages. Cool. So the only thing is, I wouldn't be putting in things about the benefits that you're focusing on the page where they can get their sample meal plan. The benefits that you're telling them are actually benefits for the next page, which is the actual full program. The benefits right here should be all focused in on the simple meal plan, on the sample meal plan rather. And you should be capturing email address only in the pop-up. So benefits should be also benefits relating to the problem. So save blah, avoid blah, you know, those kinds of save time or save money, avoid spending hours in the kitchen, or avoid not having anything, you know, not having anything ready when you've got hungry mouths to feed, or whatever that looks like. Just playing around with the benefits so that it's a little bit more problem focused and how you're removing or eliminating problems for them. And then also obviously the benefits focused as well. But right now you're kind of talking to them. They get a sample meal plan, but you're kind of talking to them a couple of the things there where you're saying like new meal plans and videos added every week. I'm assuming that's not the case. Or $22 per month. That's not the case. It's free. So I would have the word free a few more times on this page. And I would make sure that the buttons should always say the same thing. Both buttons should say the same thing in most cases. The next page that they go through to, let me have a quick look. Okay, let's get some social proof on this page. Let's get some testimonials, or either video or written testimonials from anyone that we can on this next page here. But the biggest thing is up front, I just focus on optimizing one page at a time. So the biggest thing is optimizing the emails. And one thing I'd like to know, if you're talking about the email price being $1 or $2, or if you're talking about the clicks being $1 or $2, because you didn't actually clarify that. If your emails are $1 or $2, that's great. You actually I would make those tweaks to the homepage anyway, to the first page, the first landing page anyway. But I'd then be focusing on the second page a little bit more, adding in some more social proof. And yeah, working with that. And just double check that you don't need the address. I would just go through, if you definitely tested this form, just fill out this form, because a lot of the times when I see people that aren't getting results on their thank you page, it's often because the form actually doesn't work. They've never gone through and tried to put their credit card through and pay themselves. And it says, you know, this form doesn't work, because a lot of the time, depending on which payment processor you're using, they need to be capturing the address. So if you're not capturing the address, no payments will work. And then they're like, oh, my funnel isn't working. I'm like, no, we just got to set it up in the right way. So that's one part of it. And also the images are all broken. So I think there's supposed to be an image below the button, and an image beside the free trial and secure payment section. And they're both not there either. Also keep in mind too, you legally really should have a terms and conditions kind of page on your website and or privacy policy. Facebook do really respond well when you've got those in place as well. Okay, next question is from, who's next? Hold on, let me just double check. Cool. Question is from Sarah Russ. No worries. Okay, my biggest thing though, Sarah, have you done that that doers validation checklist? Have you gone and looked at competitor markets and found someone that's doing this exact same kind of thing? Because that to me sounds a little bit similar to what you're already doing. When I'm launching something that's brand new, I normally like to give, particularly if it's an event, I normally like to give myself 6 weeks between launching the funnel and the event running the first time, just to make sure it probably 6 weeks, because if you go too far in advance, people don't rock up. You have a no-show problem. But 6 weeks is normally enough to warm up my campaigns, get stuff running. And the first few, I just expect them to be smaller as I kind of try and figure stuff out and see what works and what needs some tweaking. And then the next time I run it, I know I'm more confident in filling it up quicker and getting more numbers involved. So the biggest thing though there is, Sarah, is that just making sure that's been validated and you've found someone else in the world doing it. If no one else in the world is doing something like this and making good money from it and advertising on Facebook for it, it's a sign that there's a reason why. It's not in your case, it's not because no one's ever thought of it. It's a relatively saturated market, right? So just double check that one. And make sure you've done the doers validation checklist before you spend another moment on it, because that's, yeah, just in terms of a lot of the competitors being either pure online dating space, which isn't the play you're going for, and you don't want to go for that because they've got crazy budgets and it's not really worth competing in that space. And your advertising has to be super limited, all of that kind of stuff. Or you got that problem too of a lot of people offering these events for free and being able to do meetups and all that kind of stuff where you have to pay it all, and community events and church events and stuff like that. So you just need to make sure that someone's been able to actually monetize this and make this work financially somewhere in the world. And you can then model stuff that you're doing from the kinds of things that they've proved have worked. Next question is from Open. Good. One second. Just wanted to make sure that I answer everyone's in order. Okay. Oop. Remove. I think I'm almost getting close to have answered all of today's questions. So, next question. Andrea, hi. Okay, so nice. Nice, awesome. So Andrea runs a kind of carpentry design, interior design / almost parts of construction. Like, she's got crazy skill set and is a qualified carpenter and all that kind of stuff. She's very, very clever. So she's wondering, she's going to do a bit of a local awareness ad, which works really well when you're in that's kind of a geographical region that's not a thriving New York, right? Local awareness works quite well just because it's a super cheap way to get in front of and have people start to get familiar with your brand. It's kind of gets people to start talking about you. It's not focused on website conversions like the Facebook website conversions are focused on, but it's focused on awareness, and it tends to work well if it goes hand in hand with a website conversions campaign. In the training, more of a brand story. Yeah, I like that. So she's going to come from the angle of father-daughter duo, renovate Picton. Nice. Nice. Well done. Yeah, I'd definitely give that a test. Make sure that you're focusing in on problem solution kind of stuff. So yes, give your credentials, but I would start off with the problem. I'd be like, so this is the house and this is the before photos or something like that, so that people can be like, yes, that's me. They were frustrated with traffic through the kitchen, and everything always seemed to be super, and make sure you don't use industry jargon, use like everyday words. Everything felt tired and embarrassed to entertain, those kinds of things, so that people that are literally scrolling through are just like, yeah, that's totally me. This makes complete sense. That's exactly what I'm experiencing right now. I'm going to listen up as to how this local people just down the road solve this problem, and then we get to introduce you. So make sure it's enough problem focused, but otherwise I really like it. And I like it that it's almost got like that news element of it. It's almost like a report, which adds credibility as well. Cool. In terms of membership, so Monica's question, in terms of memberships online, would you recommend to do it on the same website or get a different platform to do this? So your very first membership, I recommend doing on ClickFunnels, just because it's easy, cheap. Well, it's free if you've already got ClickFunnels. You don't have to pay anything extra. It's just the $97 version of ClickFunnels. It's super easy. It's tech-free. You don't need a developer. You can do it yourself in like a weekend. So it's really easy to set up online programs on ClickFunnels. And I always do that first. Once I got my first 120-ish members, I was then like, right, this is, because I wanted to focus on selling it, not on wasting all my time building it. Once I'd made money from that and I'd proven that this was something that had legs and I was going to be running with this, I then moved over to WordPress and built a site with what's called Memberium. So you'll see all of those details in Creating Online Courses, which I believe from memory is module 9 in the Doing Academy. You'll see how I use ClickFunnels to start with, and then I transition over to a WordPress membership site. Oh, Janine, you've just changed it. Let me have a quick look. Wait, have I got two Janines? Janine, can you just let me know your URL? Because I think I've got two Janines and oh no, yeah, that's yours. Cool, you just hadn't come through yet. Yeah, won't convert very well. I mean, this page isn't set up to convert, right? But particularly in your space should all be about clean, fresh. You don't want heaps of blacks in your space. Yeah, for sure. Similar kind of thing. It tends to not convert as well because it's just harder for the eye to read because the eye isn't used to reading that inverted color. But two, in your space, I think that's doing the opposite to what you want to create. And the vibe you want to create is calm, fresh, clean. And a black doesn't do that. Next question is from, have I tried or tested the new Facebook ongoing promotion tool? Is that run by Facebook themselves? Is that by an external provider? Is that run by Facebook headquarters? Because I've had certain things, like they've offered us all sorts of Facebook trainings and stuff in the past, and strategy sessions with Facebook headquarters and things like that. And we've gone to them and they have not been helpful at all. We've tended to always know more. And at the end of the day, they were just trying to push the latest products that they were trying to get people to use, which weren't necessarily good fits for our business. So something new had just come out, they'd be like, oh, you must do this. But it's like, well, that doesn't really align with what we're trying to achieve on Facebook. So if it's by Facebook headquarters, I mean, if it's contract free, basically I don't have experience in using their Facebook ongoing promotion tool. I'm able to make great results with all of our own knowledge and stuff that we're testing, and I like to have ownership of that personally. But that's not to say that it's not a great next step for you. If it's contract free, I'd definitely give it a go. But if you're entering into big contracts, be a little bit careful. And if you're saying that Facebook's been so brilliant for your business already with my training, just be aware of any limitations that may happen by outsourcing that to someone else. But at the same time, there's probably not an exclusive thing on it, right? Like, I'm sure you could be doing your own campaigns on the side, and if it's not a huge contract locked in kind of thing, maybe it's worth giving them a go and just seeing what they can get out of that, and learning lessons from what they do that does work and that doesn't work. But yeah, I thought getting strategy sessions with Facebook headquarters and getting their advice on campaign building, I initially thought when I first was offered that, this is going to be perfect, right? They're the experts at this. They weren't. They were kind of just salespeople. If you're spending like $10 million, yeah, you'll get someone who knows what they're talking about. But in most cases, they're people that are doing them for you that have no experience of running their own ads. And they just they're like, oh, I saw someone else doing this and that apparently worked really well for them. And I'm like, good, but yeah, it didn't add any value. But if it's contract free and something you can do where you can do your own thing on the side, then sure. Facebook ongoing promotion tool. Interesting. So that was Carmela's question. I hope that helps, Carmela. Deb, should there be a link embedded in the Likeable Lady emails to send them back to the first upgrade offer or to the upsell pages? So the biggest thing with your Likeable Lady emails, you want to be sending them back to this whiteboard. I think you can see it behind me. This whiteboard kind of explains it. Your Likeable Lady emails, you've already got this whole point of this first page is to capture their email. You've already got their email. So you don't need to send them back to this page, but I'm pretty sure what you're saying is, do I send them to this page? Correct. You send them to whatever page comes after the page they put their email into, because they stay in this nurture because they didn't say yes on that page. So the Likeable Ladies, send them back to that page. You're welcome, guys. Let me know too if anyone else has sent me a question in the portal in advance. Please let me know, and I'll be able to help out with that. Because I think I've answered all the questions. But if anyone's still in here and hasn't got a question answer, their question answer that they came with, let me know. Jackie's question is, you recommend not using a webinar funnel for products that cost less than $500. Why? I have a ClickFunnels subscription and I know it has webinar capabilities. Yes, so yeah, you can absolutely do evergreen or automated webinars in ClickFunnels, and they work pretty well. They don't have the capabilities that something like Webinar Jam has in their evergreen in terms of the tracking and the experience in the broadcast room, but it's still totally fine. And if you can get it to work in ClickFunnels, then you can totally move it out into Webinar Jam in time when you're ready for it. If you don't want to pay I think it's $400 a year to get Webinar Jam. But why? The first part of your question. Why don't I recommend doing webinars for products that cost less than $500? The numbers just don't work. So it works really well for products that are over $500, so around that $1,000, $1,500, $2,000. You can go up to usually $3,000 max, but it tends to not work for less because the numbers don't work. The conversion rates aren't high enough to justify it. Because the whole point of that kind of a presentation is that people commit the time. It's a longer presentation because they're willing to spend more cash, whereas people don't want to go and watch a 90-minute presentation on buying a t-shirt. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't work for the lower priced products, only for the higher priced. But there's no reason why when people come into your webinar, maybe 5% of people will actually end up buying. The other 95% of people, that's totally where you can introduce lower priced offers. But what's sold in the webinar should normally be on the high end of your value ladder, around that $1,000 mark. On the script. Yeah, Kate, absolutely. I gave feedback. Oh no, Kate. On the script, yeah, no, I was skipping through listening to it. Good. Happy with that, and the quality I was really happy with. The way you are in front of camera, really good as well. Yeah, throw it in, go live with that bad boy. Yeah, I was pretty impressed with that, particularly if that's one of the first videos you've been doing. Like really good. I know you've been in the community for a while, but that was a really a really solid, like someone who's actually had a fair bit of experience in video kind of model. I would definitely, if I was UK, are you aware of people like Mutu, M-U-T-U, and people like that in the yoga space? I would definitely be on her email list, and I would be watching the kind of stuff that she does and the way that she niches in a saturated space, because she's super successful in a similar space to you. So I would definitely check out Mutu, M-U-T-U. She's gorgeous. Wendy, isn't it? Sure, her name's Wendy. I was chatting to her at a conference recently. Yeah, Mutu, M-U-T-U. Go check her out online. She's got a good formula. She's niched in nicely. Next question is from, where do you go to access capital? Nicole, not something I've ever done myself. Everything I've done is completely self-funded, and I've just had to be strategic and make sure that I make money before I spend money, because I've not had any family money or had huge loan, like never taken a loan out to start my business, or at the beginning I was just on credit cards. So that's the whole reason, actually. That's why I was so in love with the funnel when I discovered it, because it's just such a fast return. And with Facebook, you can start so cheap. And you can get in front of so many people that used to be so expensive. You can get in front of so many people for such an affordable price. Like your face can be in front of thousands of people a day for such a cheap price. So I've always built mine from the ground up. And to be perfectly honest, I don't recommend people going into debt, like beyond a credit card, to build a business, like, you know, mortgaging the house to build a business. It's just too much stress. And you don't need to do it that way. You tend to become a little bit lazy when you've got too much money in the bank when you're starting out, and you don't become as strategic and as careful, or not careful, strategic and as serious about it as you would when you're like, okay, I've got to make money, I've got to pay my rent, right? You tend to focus on non-profit producing activities, because the profit producing activities are often ones that we don't enjoy as much or aren't as confident in. In terms of accessing capital and getting, rather than a loan or rather than going into debt, accessing capital from external sources, there are some great competitions out there that give cash capital. So, but you tend to have to be part of some sort of accelerator or incubator. So there's like Google Startup Weekend. We've got one in Adelaide that I judged at last year, and there was cash prizes for that. There's a lot more happening in the larger states. I know in Sydney. Where are you? In those regions, the East Coast. There's a lot more of that kind of stuff happening. So Googling things like incubators near you is often a okay place to start. Obviously, there's things like Shark Tank and things like that. But to me personally, I didn't want to share my success or be forced to share my financial success with people. So I never wanted anyone else involved in my business other than my husband, because he's the only person I would trust intimately. So for me, I always kept that really tight. And then secondly, I wanted to be able to do it on my own. And I knew that I could if I got smart about the funnel and I committed, and I just kept on going till I could understand my market enough that I was giving them exactly what they wanted. And that's why I didn't get capital. So just make sure that your motives for getting capital are right, and it's not coming from a place of desperation, but it's part of a really intentional long-term strategy. And then, incubators and accelerator programs normally. And you will sometimes have to pay to join those, but then there's usually the opportunity for you to pitch, get connected, and get investors on board. I know a few people who have done those in Sydney and had some good cash injections into things they were developing. Cool. Therese, I want you to jump into, so Therese has a question around, she wants to promote and sell workshops in different cities in her funnel. She uses lead pages, so that's where she's going to be promoting, that's the pages she's going to be promoting the events on. She uses MailChimp, Stripe, and WordPress. How do we set that up? and how do we drip out the email nurtures for different cities and take payments and so on. So you can do very basic payments on Stripe, on lead pages. So you can integrate Stripe with lead pages. It's very basic. Be careful in doing that for an event funnel. That's the whole reason I use ClickFunnels. The whole reason is because it's perfect for a live event. So it allows you to do the $1 ticket, the $49, the $97 VIP upsell, all the upsells, automatic, quick clicks, all that kind of stuff. So I still use Stripe. You can still use Stripe, but I use ClickFunnels for the landing pages because those funnels make more money. Far more than the extra $50 or whatever it is per month to have ClickFunnels compared to lead pages. So you'll be able to see all the training on exactly how I do that in module 8 of the Doing Academy in it's called workshops. So jump into that. If you really want to see the lowdown, you really need to get Workshop Project. The Workshop Project is me taking you through step by step exactly how I was able to generate the $1 million with live events in the first 12 months. And it walks you through everything, the presentation, finding the right venues, filling up the room so that you've made money before you walk into the room, how to sell so it doesn't even feel like selling at the event, all that kind of stuff. So Workshop Project is like the full training, but you get some foundational stuff inside module 8 in the Doing Academy. Make sure you've checked that out. Sandy? Yeah, so Sandy's seeing in my current promo. How? You shouldn't be on that email list. You should unsubscribe. Oh, well, no, don't unsubscribe if you've got to. Reply to me and I'll make sure you're not on that list. But she's noticing that I'm sending out the identity project. At the moment, I'm sending 2 emails a day. Is that working better than 1? Yes. So when you're getting close, it's only another 2 days left, I believe. When you're getting close to the final day when that offer is no longer available for people, you tend to increase frequency. So I wouldn't do that for like a month, but for the last 4 or 5 days, I believe. Normally, I don't do it that frequently. Normally, it's the last 3 days. I'll send 2 a day. But, yeah. And I'm also just trying to clean up the list. Like, are people I don't want to be emailing people moving forward who aren't like really interested and about me being able to help them or are really serious about building their business. So that's been good just to clear it out. Because remember with the list, how 3% ready to buy now, 6 to 7% are open to it, 30% will be at some point if you don't ignore them, 60% are never going to buy from you, had no intention really on buying from you. So 60% I'm trying to remove through that frequency as well, because yeah, if they don't want to hear from me, I'd really love them to hit the unsubscribe button because I don't want to keep being in their inboxes. Unsubscribe is a good thing. Cool. Okay, and I think I've got 2 questions left. Next question is from answered that one. Answered that one. Good, I'm glad. Getting set up in my new CRM. So this is from Joe. I'm getting set up in my new CRM, which is called Ontraport, and I wondered about doing a re-engagement campaign, as I've been in business for 6 years and my list is not engaged because, let's face it, my stuff has not been gold till now. So wondering if I should do a cull. Yes, we're just talking about this. If so, how specifically would you do it? I have a thing that's called a re-engagement campaign, and I will email it back to you. So I know it's in the Answers Hub. Answers Hub, however you want to say it. I put it in the inner, where is it? Hold on. Let me just try and find it. Re-engagement. Got it. Sort, view. Cool. You know what? I would instead, here, I've got a separate video I'm going to send you. And I'll put this in the group for everyone because it's quite a helpful video. This is how to engage an email list, basically. So yeah, they get their 5 emails. They're like the Likeable Lady emails, often when they first join, to try and encourage that first purchase, but it just might not be the right time for them there and then. They might be in the 30% of people who aren't ready right now, but will be in time. So that's why, if we want to capture those guys, we continue to nurture them and look after them. So you'll see, I'll give you this link here. It's a private link, so you guys can have it. I've got it in the chat box, in the thing here, and I'll send it off to you separately too, Joe. But yeah, if you do these kinds of campaigns, they tend to work really well as a way to re-engage an old database. But if they're really old, I would make sure, I think I mentioned this in that training, before you get too far into it, send like 3 or 4 emails where you are engaging with people and just giving before you ask for anything or offer them any sort of sales opportunity. So just give, do some lead magnets or downloadables or some trainings or whatever you can give to them, like a little 20-minute training video, whatever it is. Give for the first 3 or 4 emails, and then transition. Make one of them really relational, like a really more personal kind of thing with you about something you've just discovered or learned or wanted to share with them, or a bit more kind of practical kind of stuff, maybe downloadable, just to give first before you transition. And I normally in the first email have text. In the actual text bit, I know there's always legally the unsubscribe button always appears at the bottom, but in text up the top, I'm usually like, if you're no longer interested in being able to blah, or, I normally will refer to the problem in being able to break out of entrepreneurial Groundhog Day and build that profitable lifestyle business. You can unsubscribe from my updates and email goodies by clicking here. Please don't copy that word for word, like use your own language, but by clicking here. And so I have that link in the actual email itself, just so that MailChimp or Infusionsoft or whatever you use don't hate you. A lot of people that are just genuinely just don't need you anymore, they'll click on that link instead of the unsubscribe link. If they get heaps of unsubscribes down the bottom, particularly if it's a really old database, sometimes your autoresponder will be like, guys, like, first warning, people are unsubscribing too much. When it gets over like 2%, they get a little bit angry. Sorry, when it gets over 0.2%. So yeah, that's why I put it in the text body. So it's not seen as an unsubscribe to your email autoresponder, but you can manually make sure that these guys are no longer in your list. So after you've sent that first email, you'll go through everyone that clicked on that link, take them out, right? Or tag them, or just they're not in that subscription list anymore. Export them and delete them from the database even, right? But just don't email them ongoing. Cool. Okay, I think that's most of the questions answered. So I'm right on time. Go us. I'm gonna let you guys roll and enjoy the rest of your week. I will be in here again very soon, answering any questions you've got. But I hope that's helped. And yeah, it's just all about taking that massive imperfect action and caring so much about your market that you want to understand what they really, really want and successfully be able to give that to them in a funnel. You're welcome, guys. I hope that's been helpful, and I will talk to you soon. You're welcome. Bye. I'm going to go now and film 4 videos. Annoying. But anyway, has to be done. Got to move forward with the funnel. Talk soon, guys. See ya. You're welcome. You're welcome.